daun polugi corazon mizu iwinaiza sa pogu lokwina sakan gai giguini ininyu doasi nu isaunya talanus iminalai gizahita ikinimprendi zaminaule na sa esti adisese ha isaina nahugwa paski jahita todo itempu fan masaya haji gaini lachi John Polu gi corazon mizu iwinaiza sa pogu lokwina sakan gai giguini ininyu doasi ikilis janu nu isaunya masaya haji gaini lachi daun polu di corazon mizu iwinaiza sa pogu lokwina sakan gai giguini ininyu doasi ikilis janu nu isaunya
AP News. I'm Ed Donahue. An arrest has been made in Altoona, Pennsylvania, in the shooting death last week in New York City of United Healthcare CEO.
We believe we have a strong person of interest.
New York City Mayor Eric Adams at a news conference. Officials say police have arrested a 26-year-old man with a weapon consistent with the gun used in the killing of the United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Thompson died in an ambush as he walked from his hotel to the company's annual investor conference across the street. NYPD Chief of Detectives Joseph Kenny described the suspect.
He has been identified as Luigi Nicholas Mangione. He's a male, 26 years old. He was born and raised in Maryland. We know he has ties to San Francisco, California.
Mangione was taken into custody after police got a tip that he had been spotted at a McDonald's in Pennsylvania. I'm Haya Panjwani.
Marine veteran Daniel Penny was acquitted in New York City for the chokehold death on a subway train of Jordan Neely last year. A more serious manslaughter charge was dismissed earlier in deliberations. Neely was black. Penny is white. Shavonna Newsom is with Black Lives Matter of Greater New York.
It was foolish of us to think that a black man would get justice in the system designed to keep him oppressed. My heart bleeds for the Neely family.
His lawyers say Penny was protecting himself and other subway passengers from a volatile, mentally ill man. With Bashar Assad now out in Syria, Secretary of State Antony Blinken says this is a pivotal moment.
It also carries considerable risks. History shows how quickly moments of promise can descend into conflict and violence.
State workers stayed home today in Syria. Government services have come to a complete stop. Jay-Z says a rape allegation made against him is part of an extortion attempt. A lawsuit alleges Jay-Z raped a minor with Sean Diddy Combs at an award show after party about 25 years ago. This is AP News. Landslides have killed at least 10 people in Indonesia.
Torrential rains since last week have caused rivers to burst their banks, tearing through Sukabumi district of West Java province. Landslides, flash floods and strong winds have devastated over 170 villages and forced more than 3,000 people to flee to temporary government shelters. Rescuers removed the roof of a collapsed house damaged in the landslide while looking for possible victims. They've recovered at least 10 bodies that were swept away in the floods or buried under tons of mud and rocks that hit hilly villages. Villagers sit on the floor of a school building that serves as a temporary shelter for displaced people. Authorities have warned nearly 1,000 people to evacuate as more than 400 houses are threatened by the extreme weather. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
And I'm Ed Donahue, AP News.
Good morning, Marianas. So many things we gotta discuss. Happy day, Tirawami and greetings to Rhoda, Guam, Saipan, and Tinian. For all your island news from a beautiful place with Pacific views. It's always so much fun on Good Morning, Marianas.
It's 7:45 on Tuesday, and you're already caught up to date with all the news from around the world. And thanks to the Associated Press, we got you that stuff this morning, as we do every single day. Actually, there's going to be another one of those updates coming up in about 15 minutes. Probably hear more about that guy, Luigi Mangione, the guy who is who they think is the one who ambushed that CEO out in front of while he's walking down the street on his way to a conference. Holy smokes, that thing got settled pretty quick. That's pretty funny. Well, that's his fault for smiling. That's what you get, going out there smiling at hostiles. You can't do it. Let that be a lesson. I mean, maybe the lesson should be you shouldn't go around shooting people. Okay, I'm with you. I got you. We're on the same page. Anyway, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You're looking outside right now at a live look at the traffic on Beach Road in Oleai. And we're going to talk a lot about that here in a second, because we're going to get you your first look at traffic out here in the CNMI today. Well, I say CNMI, but I'm really talking Saipan, because we might not have a whole lot of traffic going on over there in Tinian and Rhoda. Yes, of course, there's traffic. It's all relative, right? Don't worry about it, folks. But let's get you your first look at traffic here in Saipan today, so you know what you're going to be facing. Maybe you're facing it already. You just want a heads up on where we're going? Well, let's take a look. The intersection over by IT&E is definitely slowing down, especially if you're coming south along Middle Road. CMG is a little bit slow if you're trying to go east as well. And all points going north are going slow, as Well, as well. Let's take a look at the old AK intersection. You see that traffic on the screen in the top right corner. Well, you can also see it in all red lines over here because that is what's going on. People trying to head north on Beach Road near the intersection over there are going to be facing some frowns. Unless it's a good opportunity for you to check all your messages. No, you can't. That's one of the 4 Ds in the 4D Awareness Month. Distracted driving. Don't do it. But hey, I'll tell you, I'm definitely someone, when I'm stuck in a light, I'm definitely paying attention to it. And that's stretching all the way past our offices, all the way to the intersection for the mayor's office. All right, well, Louisa just said Chalumpiao is a nightmare. Oh my gosh, it is. Holy cow. Let's take a look. We're going to zoom in the satellite copter. All right. Well, it is a nightmare all the way in front of the Blue Sky Market. That has to do with everybody picking up and dropping off. Mostly all dropping off. You can see it's like a standstill over there all the way by the mobile station and subway. It is not a happy place to be. It is definitely not Disney World. It is definitely slow wherever you're trying to go. A lot of that has to do with the construction too. So that killer combination of dropping off kids to school and road construction, no thanks. That's why you got Texas Road. What up, Texas Road? Shout out. If only it went all the way across through to the CMG. I know it doesn't. Anyway, be careful when you're going through there because it's just going to be a nightmare. You know where else is not fun? Food stamps this early in the month, and it is slow. It doesn't help that there's also a school bus stop right over there. So you can see the food stamp area by the Nutrition Assistance Program along Monsignor Martinez is not a happy place either. And that's about the time when the Saipan International Schools got drop-offs. So it's all in the same spot. As you're trying to get out of Azlito, escape from Azlito, and you get over to the CMG from Monsignor Martinez, you can see it's slowing down as well around this time. That is just a tough place. Everybody coming from Papago, coming from Cagman, coming from San Vicente, they're all trying to go that way, and it's not easy coming down the hill. But everybody coming from all points in Azlito trying to get out to the main road, it's not great. Maybe they need to widen that road a little bit. Probably not a bad idea. But let's not start another road project before we even get rid of this craziness that is the Beach Road project. Anyway, over there by Agigi Road, that's probably a slowdown because of a bus stop. That's exactly where the bus stop is over there by Agigi Road. It's a McDonald's bus stop too. And so while you might not be loving it inside the traffic stop, you can get yourself a nice little breakfast sandwich. So that's it. So East Drive over by Agigi Road, it is stretching back quite a bit, all the way down to Ifet Drive. And let's keep going. Let's take a look at the base of Capitol Hill. That's right, East Drive and Middle Road intersection looking pretty good. It's only a little bit slow with people stuck at the light, and probably because trying to take that right there is not an easy maneuver either because of that water pipe that burst last week. All right, over at the Navy Hill intersection, oh my God, it looks like it's got its own little coloring box with all the different crayons that we got down there. It is definitely slow go for people coming down the hill. Some people trying to do the little creep road on Magalahi Drive. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. You never know if it's going to be easier trying to get through. It's still going to pop you out by Shirley's or Susupi, but it's not Shirley's Middle Road, but it's not a guaranteed good one because that whole stretch of road is Moida also. I mean, just take a look at all the people trying to get north. You know, they're either trying to get to Capitol Hill or they're on their way to go check out that new AK intersection or new AK dealership. Ooh, it's so fancy. It is. If you haven't seen it, get down there. But traffic is a slow go in every direction. It's like everybody's stuck at the light at the same time. Folks going south look like they've got to go ahead first. So if there's a way around it, you should definitely take it. It's also not particularly fast on Middle Road anywhere, all the way up to Sugar King Park. I mean, the whole Middle Road looks like a little disaster. So enjoy. At least you live in Saipan. It could be way worse. You could be in like New York City, where driving is like a video game and all you need to play is insurance. Well, folks, that's it. There's your traffic. There's your weather. What? You want sports too? Oh my gosh. How much do you want from me, people? Okay, fine. Let's do sports. I got to talk about the saddest thing that happened to me yesterday. Oh gosh. It was sad. It was especially sad because unless things don't work out today, I'm going to get a double dose of sadness because my Buffalo Bills lost. I know you. Let's start crying about it now. They lost to the Rams in a great game, but I really prefer those great games if I could be on the winning side. Not so. So here's what ended up happening yesterday. Well, first of all, we'll go with the old game from last week. The Lions, of course, beat the Packers 34-31 to keep cruising on their way in the NFC. The Steelers beat the Browns in Pittsburgh 27-14. The Giants lost to the Saints in New Jersey 14-11. The Jets lost to the Dolphins in Miami 32-26. The Jaguars go into Tennessee and beat the Titans 10-6. The Vikings, oh my gosh, Sam Darnold looking great against their former quarterback, 42-21 over the Falcons in the Dome. Eagles beat the Panthers 22-16. Baker looks amazing. The Buccaneers beat the Raiders 28-13. The Seahawks go into Arizona and beat the Cardinals 30-18. The Bears fall to the 49ers in massive fashion, 38-13. The Bills lost to the Rams, 44-42. The Chiefs, last minute, doink it off the uprights, beat the Chargers, 19-17. And today we're going to see what happens when the Bengals face the Cowboys. And oh my goodness, normally, if my team doesn't win, at least I get a little bit of help from my fantasy team so that I can at least smile a little bit about football. But right now, I'm going to need a heck of a day from T. Higgins. T. Higgins, you are my only hope. You're my Obi-Wan Kenobi. I am trailing Steve McKagan by like 15 points. So I've got T. Higgins. He's got Cincinnati. I need T. Higgins basically to have about a 20-point day. We'll see, because I figure the Cowboys are going to do some scoring. Also, I just need the Cowboys to have a really good game. So, Eric Larson, I'm rooting for you, except for your I hope your defense is terrible, but I hope your offense is great. So, sorry, Eric. That's where I'm at. 15 points. Got to beat Steve McKagan. I'm already in the playoffs, guaranteed, but I want to get a little bit of a higher seed, see what happens. Did Dan win? Oh, Dan lost too, so I could leap him in the standings with a big win today. So, oh my God, it was not great. It was not great. Steve McKagan coming up with this great victory out of nowhere. I was supposed to beat him. I was supposed to crush him. I was supposed to be a contender. It was terrible. Oh, I'm looking in the comments right now. Fabian, is that military issue eyeglasses? You look good on it. Man, Fabian. Hey, by the way, Fabian, I tried calling you back last night. I don't know if maybe that was a butt dial when you called, but I got a missed call from you last night. I tried calling you back, and then it went like straight to voicemail. So I wonder if maybe your phone died or something. But if you called and if you got something for me, give me a ring. Or send me a message. So anyway, good to see you. Not military issue glasses. I did talk about these before. They are, I got these on my last trip to New York. You're supposed to get them updated more often than I do, right? But these are from 2021, almost exactly 3 years ago. I got them in, I think, November of 21. And when I got them, they're great. I got we were talking about like those connections that you get, like here and everything. Well, my dad's got some connections there, just based on kids who he coached and their families and all that stuff. The guys who he was coaching end up making all the glasses that every retailer sells. And so they don't make the frames, but they get the frames at the crazy prices, right? And then they make all of the lenses, all of them. They mill them. Like they get them, they're like circles, and then they shape them, they do everything they need to do. And they are outstanding. The way they measure your face, if it's the right size and all that stuff. Now, granted, 3 years ago when I got these, my face wasn't quite as round. That's not funny. It sucks. But these glasses are outstanding. And so I love these things. I got to get new lenses on them now. Keith Atta, hey, welcome. Good morning. Good to see you. Good to see you for sure. Raymond Vincent, great to see you this morning. Connie, thanks for tuning in this morning. This is awesome. Eric, wonderful to see you. And Luisa, of course, you were like always the first one. You were the best. JJ, great to see you this morning. And thanks for tuning in. I love it. And bring on the cat gifts. That's some of the most fun. And Tobot, I don't see you yet, but I know you'll be in there somewhere, somehow. Nice to see you guys all over. I can see you guys on the Good Morning Marianas page. I see you over on the NMI News Service page, and I see you over there on the YouTube. If you haven't already liked those things, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's NMI News 670. That's our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to that. Our goal is to get that to 1,000. At least that's our next goal. We're trying to get that to 1,000 subscribers. Once we get to the YouTube, once we get YouTube to 1,000 subscribers, that's a really big deal for us. It changes a whole lot for us. As far as Facebook, please follow us on Facebook if you're not already doing it. Yeah, I'm not a real Facebook person. I know, but if you got an account, just do it anyway. Please. It makes a big deal for us, too. We're trying to get folks out there, sponsoring us and everything. We keep showing them our numbers, and we show how many views that we get and showing how the subscribers just continues to grow. It's a really massive deal. Also, I'll tell you what, that's not just glam stuff for me. I mean, it's important because it's how we're going to keep these bills being paid and everything. But the more important part is that we're talking about the stuff that you want to talk about, the issues that are important to you. If you think that if we're missing them, if we didn't get that story that you wanted, if we didn't know about that topic, well, I mean, we put our ear to the ground. We try to listen to everything and find out what's going on, but we don't always know. We need your help to let us know. So please let us know what we could be covering when you have an event. Also, if you have a birthday announcement, you got shout outs for birthdays or anniversaries or accomplishments, we want all that. Funeral announcements, it's not necessarily a celebration, but the celebration of life, send those to us. If you get those graphic things made and all that, I will post them. Absolutely. How much is it, Brad? It doesn't cost you anything. Just let me put that stuff up there for you, because we're starting to get to a point where a lot of people see us now. So let us put that out there. It's a great way to get the word out. We're going to be losing one of our newspapers in 3 weeks to the day from today. It's going to be over for one of the newspapers. So give it to us, so we'll put it up there for free. That's just it. We want to help let the community know about your loved ones passing or the birthday shutouts or your and tell us if you're hiring. If you're hiring, we'll put that kind of stuff out there too. If you've got announcements, you name it. This is your community page. That's what this is. We reach all these other folks throughout the day. People tune in and watch us later. I mean, look, there's Gus. Aloha, Dan Lesamwamwai from Hilo. Great to see you, Gus. And then Lorraine's over there in Palau. Oli ole. Great to see you. Su Lang for tuning in. And Jermel, thank you so much for tuning in. Great to see you guys as well. Isabella, I see you over there in YouTube land. Thanks. Great to see you too. And really, all those things, all those likes, the subscribes, the follows, those are all important things for us, really. But when it comes to covering everything, let us know let us know where we're missing the mark. I don't expect to hear all good things. Say, Brad, you messed up. You missed this. All right, cool. Well, then I'll do better. So I need to know that kind of stuff. And I'm happy to do that for you. Again, this is your community page. This is your show. This is this kind of fun. Now, do I get to talk about a whole bunch of stuff that I like? Yeah, I mean, I got to roll in here every day and figure this kind of stuff out. So, but I'm going to talk about your stuff. I'll cut my stuff out and throw your stuff in there. So let us know. Hey, by the way, so our phone number here too is 789-2323. 670-789-2323. And that's it. So Ray is saying, what is the capital of Saipan? That's a good question. I would say, I would Google it to see what it says, but I think the old capital of Saipan used to be Chalkanoa, and I think that Capitol Hill would be our capital of Saipan, but I don't know if that is considered actually the capital of the CNMI, because it would cover the whole CNMI, right? Because that's where the legislature is, the governor's office, and all that. So that's my guess. I would say the old capital of the CNMI used to be, or the old capital of Saipan anyway, I think was Chalkanoa. Let's see what happens when you Google it anyway. Let's see what pops up. It's a good question. Do we have a capital, by the way? I don't know, but I want to see what Wikipedia has to say. I know you got to check everything that you find anyway. see, and also, I'm going to check CIA.gov. These are a couple of good ones, right? And let's see if it says it has a capital. Just looking down the right-hand side of the screen first, just to see if there's anything in there. It just says the largest settlement is Garapan. Is that fair? Is that really it? I mean, I thought it would be like more somewhere in the south. And this is all old stuff on Wikipedia. Let's see. I'm just looking for a real quick hit if they show something about like capitals, right? So country fact sheet maybe. Let's see what that's in. That's just a real. It's just a real quick scan. I'm not going real in depth. Capital. It just says the CNMI's capital is Saipan. That's on the CIA page. They don't actually have anything listed for each island. But I think, like when I listen to, oh my gosh, I can see her face in my head right now. Genevieve, I think Cabrera. I think she used to say that the capital was in Salon-Canoa. But let me just look down real quick, just scan him, just to see if it says anything on here. This is the basic thing that they've got over here on Wikipedia. Saipan is the largest, blah, 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 blah. All the other stuff. Let's just see if they do say something about that capital. I don't know. They don't. So, I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. But if actually, to be fair, all right, if I want to be the way you wrote it, I would say, what's the capital of Saipan? It would be the S. It's the only capital letter in the word Saipan. So I'll say S. The letter S, Ray, that's the capital of Saipan. There you go. Maybe that was what you were trying to get me to say the whole time, and I just figured it out now. PJ, thanks for tuning in. Great to see you. Hey, I'll tell you what, we have a really cool guest coming in this morning, and I'm going to introduce him to you. Before we do, we're going to take a real quick break, tell you about a couple of our sponsors. We come back, we're going to have... I'm going to hold it to you. You're going to see him in just a second. All right. So, Ray says it right there, where the post office is located, Salon-Canoa. Awesome. Yep. That's what I thought, like, was the original one. That's what Genevieve was saying. Yeah. And Fabian, so I think Capitol Hill's the capital of the CNMI, but not necessarily Saipan. But really, we're just going to go with the S. The letter S is the capital of Saipan. It's the only one. All right, guys. Hey, real quick. S might be the bigger letter, but if you want to get bigger, one place where you can go to do that is at Saipan's newest workout facility. It's Laddie built 24-hour fitness down there in Salon-Canoa. Perfect timing, right? I know it wasn't set up this way, but it's awesome. I'll tell you what, they are open 24 hours a day. It doesn't matter what time you have available. They're ready for you anytime. You go down there, they've got everything you need too. They've got the free weights, they've got the racks, they've got the machines, they've got the hot sauna, they got the cold plunge, they've got an octagon, the heavy bags, they've got gear, they've got protein shakes, they got supplements. The only thing they need is you. So go down there, tell them we sent you. I think you're gonna be really happy with what you find out.
Where discipline and vision is built. We lead by example, persistence to build. Be the inspiration, they witness approve. We do what we do by the rules in the book. We be a Lottie where discipline and vision is built. We lead by example, persistence to build. Be the inspiration, they witness approve. We do what we do by the rules in the book.
Such a bright day, yeah. All right. Rain or shine.
'Tis the season for savings at AK Toyota. This season finale is here, and you can get up to $5,000 cash back on the all-new Toyota Tacoma, or get up to $2,000 cash back on your all-new Toyota Corolla. And you can use that cash any way you want. But you've got to act fast because these deals end on December 31st. Get pre-approved at aksaipan.com. Some conditions apply. Come to our new dealership on Middle Road in Puerto Rico for more details. AK Toyota, here for Saipan, here for life.
AP News. I'm Ed Donahue. A big break in the investigation in New York in the shooting death of the CEO of United Healthcare came at a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania.
If you see something, say something, but most importantly, do something. And they did.
New York Mayor Eric Adams praised a McDonald's worker in Altoona. The AP's Michael Sisak is in New York.
26-year-old Luigi Mangione was stopped at a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania, where an employee spotted him, recognized him from photographs that have been circulating since the shooting last week, called police, and then there, police officers, according to the NYPD, found a gun, writings about corporate America, a suppressor or silencer, and fake IDs.
Police also say they found writings from the suspect expressing anger with corporate America. Syria's prime minister says most cabinet ministers were back at work today after rebels overthrew President Bashar Assad. But some state workers failed to return to their jobs. A UN official says the country's public sector has come to a complete and abrupt halt. Analyst Brian Carter does not expect a smooth transition.
We're already seeing reports of uprising against the U.S.-backed Syrian Democratic Forces in the Northeast. And this is going to be really important because of the U.S. force presence in northeastern Syria.
Israeli strikes hit suspected chemical and long-range weapon sites in Syria, and the foreign minister says the aim is to keep them from rebels who seized Damascus. A Marine veteran who put an agitated subway rider in a chokehold on a New York City subway has been acquitted in the man's death. Authorities say a passenger on a domestic flight in Mexico who tried to divert an aircraft to the U.S. by force said he was under threat by criminals who had kidnapped one of his relatives. Videos posted on social media showed other passengers subduing the man. No records today on Wall Street. The Dow finished down 240 points. This is AP News. After 10 months, Laura Trump is stepping down as co-chair of the Republican National Committee
and is considering a number of potential options as her father-in-law prepares to return to the White House.
They will be able to vote someone else into my position.
In an AP interview, she says she would 100% consider it if asked to replace Florida Senator Marco Rubio.
My name has been floated as a potential replacement for Marco Rubio, assuming he's confirmed as Secretary of State. Obviously, that is ultimately up to Governor DeSantis.
She said, I intended to do what has been done, and thanked co-chair Michael Whatley, another key player in the Republicans' successful press to retake the White House.
So we said, look, we're going to really narrow down our focus, and by doing that, hopefully we can be successful.
The 42-year-old, who's married to Trump's middle son, Eric, says she doesn't see any Trump family members taking positions in the White House this time around, but she does expect the Republican Party to be more unified. Jennifer King, Washington.
I'm Ed Donahue, AP News.
All right, CNMI, we are back. It is 8:10 in the morning, and you're now all caught up. Speaking of getting caught, I can't believe they got that guy so fast. That's right. All you have to do if you want to be found is just get rid of your mask and smile and have eyebrows the size of Anthony Davis. Holy cow. That guy got dinged pretty quick. Hey, Fabian, I see you over there in the comments. Great to see you again. Man, I'll tell you, that comedy show the other night was outstanding. We had so much fun. We were over there at Naked Fish raising funds for the Commonwealth Healthcare Corporation Foundation. It's a new nonprofit to help support the CHC volunteers, the folks who are out there doing all this stuff. You know, when you need that extra pillow, you need that extra blanket, and it's cold enough, you need that extra blanket. But for everything that they've got over there that help make your stay more comfortable, the families that are in there, spending time in there, visiting their loved ones, those volunteers are the ones who do that. Those guys need funding somehow. Well, now CHC Foundation is going to be there to help with that. And it couldn't be more fun to get that thing started than with that comedy show. And I was really resistant to it. I was resistant to being a part of it because, I like to tell jokes now and again, and I like to be funny and hee ha ha ha. But like getting in front of a crowd that they're paying, they're saying, "Make me laugh, funny man." No, that's a little intimidating. Plus, I'm going out there with Santi, big boy from down the road from Power 99. You got Chinaman. I mean, that dude just kills everybody. That's my best of his little laugh thing. And then Nettie C. I mean, these guys are pros. They're real legit at doing all this stuff. So anyway, it was fun to go out there. Joe asked me, I think, about 5 or 6 times. And like I was telling him, like, oh man, I was ghosting him. I didn't want to tell him no. And I didn't know how to tell him no. I'm scared, Joe. I'm scared. But I did it. It was a lot of fun. And I cannot tell you all the jokes that we told there. Nothing was there. There was only one profanity. Yesterday I told you guys that there were no profanities. I realized there was one, but it was in Samoros, so I guess it was kind of okay. Maybe that's how I could get away with saying it. But I thought it was fun. Anyway, it was one time. You can't hold it against me. Although, sorry, Betty Johnson, she didn't scold me for it, but she did say, maybe that was a little too far. I'm like, all right, dispensa zu, I'll cross that line sometimes. That's why I'm not that guy. I'm not the pro to do all that stuff, but I am a pro at some things. Now, today we got a guy in our studio who is the pro at getting you one of those cool small vehicles here in Saipan. Now, it's not a sales pitch or anything. At this point, it's more of like a passion and enthusiasm, but we would not be able to have these cool things here if it wasn't for this guy. So I want to say thanks to him and welcome to him, because without him, I would not have the news van of justice that you guys have come to know and love. So how about a big round of applause or a big welcome for our guest. Russ Wilcox is in studio.
Thank you.
Hey, Russ, thanks so much for being here today.
I didn't realize that you had named the news van something so prophetic.
It is the news van of justice. It's got a ring to it. It needs its own Instagram page, I think.
I haven't seen you racing to any scenes or be the voice on the ground.
Oh boy.
Give it time, right?
I know. I have some thoughts about that, and one that shows me how much you're watching us. Did you see that? I feel like the Indian in that commercial about the environment with the tear.
Yes,
It just happened right now.
I apologize.
Just happened. Thanks for crushing my dreams. All right, well, that's all we have for you, Russ. So we're going to move on to weather. All right, what's going on? I know, it really is great to have you in here. And, we've got something in common that we both have these little Japanese vehicles that drive on the right-hand side. And maybe I'd love to hear, how this whole thing came about, how you got involved with it, and let's start from scratch.
I think it's like anybody else. You go to Japan and you get to see the vehicles and you get enthused by them. And then whenever you're in Guam, there's so many of them. So
there are a lot.
It raised the question, why could Guam have them and then not here? So coming back, talking to Mr. Lazama and Mrs. Sablan, try to figure out why, and it was just a lack of education on what we could have available. I think the consensus was that if we had these vehicles and they were registered, we would lose federal funding for the highways, and that wasn't really a fact. And so I contacted the National Highway Department and tried to get some information from Samoa and Guam, figure out why we could not have these. And once we had that information and I presented it, our legislature did really good and wrote up a bill and moved it along. It did take some prodding, a lot of prodding, but we got it enacted, and Mr. Lazama, and credit to the former governor, they signed it in. So I'm grateful for that.
Well, you had to get the laws passed and changed just to allow for this.
Correct. I had brought my vehicle in originally and I registered it commercial in hopes that nobody would care, but they cared a lot. So I got a lot of attention because I didn't have enough coconuts in the back of it to qualify it for a commercial vehicle. So even though that was my excuse each time I got pulled over. So they actually held up my registration for a year until we got the law passed. But once we did, it was good.
Yeah, and we're looking at it now. In fact, I could share this with folks. Again, this is just from a couple of years ago. It seems like it was longer than that, but maybe not for you because you had to go through this whole thing. When this is when it was when it passed through the House of Representatives, real easy for me to say, it was House Bill 2279 as it went through the committee and everything like that. And it was all recommended. There's Selena Babalta on there back when she was the chair of the JGO committee. And was it as easy as the way you just said it? Did you have to convince a lot of people, or was there a lot of door knocking for all this?
I don't know about door knocking. I did create a petition. You know, it's pretty easy to do online petitions right now, and I don't have a huge social media footprint, so I just kind of asked around and found those car clubs or some people, anybody who would be willing to commit to sign to bring attention to the matter. I think people wanted it. It just was a matter of figuring out the process and what was involved for us. As long as we were adhering to the federal law of 25 years or older, the rest of it is really up to the state. If in the contiguous 48, some states allow them, some states don't. Of course, it makes sense on a highway that has a 75 mile per hour speed limit. Probably don't want to be driving your cracker box on that. But rural roads or those types of areas, those states don't have many problems with it. So here with our speed limit being 45 at the most, it made sense.
Well, I think you won on your initial email. When your first email, you started with esteemed representatives. I think that is the key. Start with that and everything should go pretty well.
I had to go visit them up there once or twice. Like anything, it takes a lot of movement, but I was passionate about it and I didn't have any issues spending the time or talking to people, pressing the flesh.
Yeah, and you're there and you gave great examples. Again, so there's a lot that I like about this because, you know, doing the petition is a big deal, right? I mean, that gets the word around. People really get to hear it. And then you can find it's a real good test or at least a demonstration of the amount of support that you get from people in the community. But you did the research and you went out and looked at this stuff. I mean, you listed all these other places that have this kind of a benefit to folks and that it's not a problem in all those different jurisdictions and that, hey, here you go. And then you reference the thing about like the fuel efficiency, which, by the way, is the biggest win for me out of this whole thing.
I don't know, that parking, when you can pull in the Joe 10 and you don't have to muck around and you can just get right into a spot, gas mileage and parking are both pretty up there for me.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think I could park anywhere, but even better, like especially doing this media stuff. So if you're getting somewhere, you got to get close, you know, if you can, and get there as fast as you can. And well, I don't have to. I could park anywhere. I could throw this in the back of someone else's truck. I mean, it's so small and it fits in so easier. Like when I'm going to pick up the pizza for our baseball coverage in front of Godfather's, now it's kind of hard to get those spots, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't even need to parallel park with this thing. No. I could just head in and just squeeze in and then pull right out in like no time. I love it.
Yeah, it's a big boon. And then having a truck like the fold down sides and having the bed actually is almost the same size as a taco and it doesn't have the wheel wells. So to me, it made a lot of sense for people who do home work or, you know, laborers or something, just because it is so convenient, so much more convenient when you lay down all three sides and have access to the full bed. Like packing people, that's the only downfall. Sometimes, you know, my vehicle only hauls two, so that's the downfall. But if you like material more than you like people, it's really perfect.
Yeah. Well, you know, is it modular in the fact that, like, where you could get those little fold down doors? Do they make them where they're a little bit taller?
No, I've seen some people add on. I mean, those doors are steel, so if you want to weld, you can, but I haven't seen any add-ons for that. I've seen some canopies, but the major websites that you can look through these vehicles, beforward.com.
Like
and
BE?
BE Forward.
Okay, let's check that out. Yeah, and that's one of the things, too. How do people get them? Like, I know where I've got them. I know where I got mine, but then I know where I can see where they are, and it looks fairly simple. Like that Mitsui, that's where you got yours, right?
Mitsui was mine.
So when I looked at their sites, they calculate everything, including the shipping and everything, to get that vehicle
They
here.
make it super easy. Be Forward is a good one. Be Forward is an aggregate, so if you're a car dealer in Japan and you want to list your vehicle across the country, Be Forward is a site where you can put your vehicle up. And so if it is 25 years older for the United States or 15 years older for Canada.
Oh, wait, is it beforward.com?
Be Forward, yeah. It might be .jp.
Okay, I think it's probably .jp because it's available right now. So
yeah.
beforward.jp.
And so they make it really easy to try to find the vehicles. They have people that'll help you out. So this is almost like looking at the Sears Roebuck catalog for me as a kid, because you can put in any kind of definition, manual, four-wheel drive, turbo, under 5,000, over 25 years, and just have fun with it. There are so many crazy vehicles that are, if you're an enthusiast. I've never been excited about fast cars, Supras, or anything. Respect to those who are, but just the oddball stuff has been fun for me.
Now, how does this work? Now, does it have to be over 25 years old in order to have this now?
To get it into Saipan, yes.
Okay.
That's the federal... so back in the day, like talking to Mr. Blaylock, Saipan had a problem because you could find a 5-year-old Mercedes on here and bring it in. There wasn't any enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
So for a while, the car dealers weren't happy with that, understandably. So we do have to play with the 25-year-old rule to make it correct, to make it right, fair. So anything over 25 years old, you can order in and get it registered with the BMV.
But now that's only for this, but like there's commercial vehicles.
You can, but that's the challenge, is to prove commercial use, agricultural construction use. The laws for right-hand drive stipulate a commercial vehicle for construction or agricultural use. So that was a problem with mine. They wouldn't just let it slide. I paid extra when I did. It registered as a $200 commercial vehicle, and that wasn't enough because I think that it was just something that they were trying to avoid at that time.
All right. Well, I mean, I get the idea where they'd want to make it easier for the dealers and all that stuff. But yet, I've seen there's like 3 Isuzus that are not old at all, pickups, right? I've seen them here, and then people are driving them, and they're licensed, and I don't see them with commercial plates.
And maybe that's something to do with island ways, and somebody. I don't have any knowledge.
It's got to, right? I mean, and like the people who brought that in, at least 2 of them. I just saw a third one that's a different color, and like that sounds cool to me because like I like this vehicle that I have, right?
Right.
Holy cow, is this really only $1,900? Like, look at this! I can't believe it. Like, I like the one that I have. But how is that possible that this thing is only $1,900?
So my 1995 Acti, when I ordered it, it was only $1,800
Man.
for the vehicle, and then the shipping was, I think I got it here total for $3,700.
I would buy this today.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like
you're gonna pay shipping on top of that, but
right.
You're still gonna get it here less than $37.
And so here's the deal on it. Like, again, it's got 5 doors, just like my van right now, but mine is a 96, and this is a 2016. A 2016. Why are we not having these things in here? Look, no wonder. Look at the mileage on there.
Yeah.
That thing has definitely gotten around.
But I wanted to bring up, in Japan, they are pretty strict on their yearly, if it's over 10 years or 5 years, I'm sorry, I think that it's a yearly maintenance review, and it is fairly in-depth. You can imagine white glove, engine mechanics, structure, all that type of stuff. If you break down on the side of the road in Japan, it is a fine.
Wow.
So these vehicles, even though they're older, and of course you're going to find some Bondo, you're going to find some trash, but it's not quite the same as buying an 85 Silverado from the Rust Belt. It's going to have a little bit better quality.
Cleveland's finest dealership.
There you go.
And I mean, I absolutely love it. And now they have, I'm just going on this website that you were just talking about. So like the trucks and the vans, like I love it that there's so many of these vans too.
Yes.
And the minivans.
Like fire trucks, especially like civil vehicles, you can find a 25-year-old fire truck with 1,200 kilometers on it, which is basically nothing, 7,000 miles.
Really?
And you could get that here for 7,000 or 8,000. That would be a better news van than like a Nissan Canter or one of those 4-door trucks.
See, but you're starting to get familiar with the names of these vehicles and all that stuff. You've been doing this for a little while.
Mazda Titan, any of those, just for fun. But and the taco enthusiasts, there's Civics, there's Tacomas, whatever they want. Hilux was what they call a Tacoma or a Toyota truck there. I don't know. There's a lot. Supras, Altrezas. There's a lot. Just a lot.
I definitely like the vehicles, or like the some of the sedans. But I've gotten so used to not driving in a car that it's a pain in the butt for me. I literally, when I went to Guam recently, and I got a rental car. And it was just a regular car, so I'm not saying the name of the car because I don't want anyone to say, oh, that's a bad car because I said it. No, it's not how it is. And I was talking to my wife. I'm like, I think I forgot how to get into a car. How did I used to sit in a car and not feel terrible?
So we're seeing the turn signal too, because that's the only thing. The hardest thing about right-hand driving is I forget what side the turn signal is on. Because if you drive on the left, the turn signal's on the left. And if you drive on the right, it's on the right.
There have been instances when I have turned with my windshield wipers. Now, I realized it immediately, or the rain was coming and all of a sudden it looked like I was trying to turn into the left lane. But no, that wasn't the case. Wow, they do have trucks on here too. No kidding. Now, just on this website, do they do it by year also? Can you search by year?
You can put in the search filter is extensive in there. So if you take time and play with it, you could find out what you get for 25 years old. You have a $5,000 limit, 25 years old. I want it under 110,000 kilometers. What can I get? And it'll come up with 100 vehicles that you could order if you wanted to.
So we got to go like Prince and shop like it's 1999. So 1999 or older.
Actually, 2000 now. I have a 2000 coming in because 2000 is just a couple weeks away.
Okay, there you go. I like that. Sorry, Prince. Tried to give you some love in the afterlife. All right, some of these are also not cheap.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah. There's some collector's items. Even a Civic, like a regular Civic. They're collector's items, so they're $30,000.
Wow. Well, this Celica, here, I'll put this back on there just for people, just to get an idea. And by the way, he's not selling anything today. This is just a discussion. You're not a salesperson. You're not doing any of this.
If you have questions, I'm happy to help, but I don't want any money. I'm just an enthusiast.
Yeah, and so if you guys want to give us a call, maybe you're thinking about getting one of these things or something, give him a ring. Again, it's not his business. He's not trying to sell any of this stuff, but he's got one of these. I got one. Ed, thanks for watching. It's beforward.jp. BE forward, FORWARD. It's not .com, it's .jp.
There's another one, Cars from Japan, that does kind of the same thing as an aggregate, and it's just carsfromjapan.jp possibly.
Okay, let's check that out. Carsfromjapan.jp. Okay, so maybe it's .com.
Maybe.com.
And don't search maybe.com. It might be something interesting. All right, this domain may be for sale.
Oh, apologize. It is Cars from Japan. I don't know what the extension is.
Well, let's just go back and just do Cars from Japan. See what happens. Cars from Japan. Watch some like hentai site come up here or something. Oh, it's car from Japan.
That makes
I
sense.
love it. Oh, you take a car from Japan. All right, here we go. And here we go.
Yeah, same thing. Good search engines, nice filters. You kind of just figure out what you want. It doesn't have to be a key. I like the key because I with the gas mileage, I have full-time four-wheel drive, so my vehicle's never out of four-wheel drive.
Nice.
I have AC on because I live in Saipan, so I have full-time AC on.
Smart.
I think I get 33 miles to the gallon, 34 miles to the gallon. So I hold 8 gallons, so a fill-up is right around $40. And I can drive as long as I can on that 8 gallons in my Acti as I could on a full tank that cost me $100 in a Tundra.
Yeah, so I had my Tacoma 4x4, and I was paying about $90 a week is what it worked out to be. Now I'm paying $30 or less a week every time, and it's incredible what a difference it makes. And it's also just fun to drive.
Yes, that's what it is. It reminds me of being a kid and you get your first beater
Yes.
out of high school, and you care, but you don't really care, and it's mechanical, and you know what's going on, and it just feels more connected. I don't know if everybody feels that way, but that's how I feel when I drive.
See, now this Subaru, now how do you pick your vehicle? Because some of them you could still get part support from, but some you can't, right?
So the best source I found is just a Japanese car site called amayama.com. And you put in your model number there, and you put in, if you have your frame number, you put your frame number in. They give you an illustrated parts breakdown of everything in that vehicle.
Wow.
And it's listed with a price. So some, like the starter, a whole starter assembly for my vehicle wasn't available anymore, but all the parts to rebuild the starter were. And the prices are pretty amazing. I had to buy 2 taillight lenses and the gaskets and everything associated. So I got both sides, all the gaskets, all the screws for less than $50. So the shipping is a little bit more because they use FedEx, but you can designate, hey, please use Japan Post. It'll come by mail, might be slow, but you can get that part here for reasonable prices and find whatever you need. If you do buy a key vehicle, the timing belt is a big thing. They say to change that around every 70,000 kilometers. The engine is mechanical, so if your timing belt breaks and those valves clash on top of your pistons, that's a bad thing. So you do have to do a little bit of maintenance. But it is basic enough that I think in your backyard, if you know your way around a few ratchets and know how to read a parts breakdown, you can do it yourself, or your neighbor can that knows that stuff.
Well, they also have these guys who are working on the commercial trucks. They know how to work on these things.
Oh,
too,
yeah.
right?
And we've seen Mr. Yoshi around the island. He has actual experience in Japan working on these. So there are people on island that know how to work on these if you do not. But it's not the same where you have to designate a electronic sensor automatic transmission in a 2016 Kia that you have no idea how to chase down, or you don't have the parts to plug in the PC. You can kind of figure it out.
All right, so look at this. You got to be kidding me. I'm so happy. But I'm looking at the year. It's too late. But there's like a 2005 Mazda Roadster, so like the Miata.
Right.
Like $3,000, $4,000.
Yep.
So, but look, that's the car price is $1,900, and the delivery to the port in Guam. I got to change the port setting here, and it's $3,900. So that's to the door. Let's see what they got here. Northern Mariana Islands, or if it just says Saipan.
It's still in the United States in Saipan. So when you do go to the port, there will be some port fees involved.
Right.
You're going to pay a sales tax of 5%. It's a personal vehicle, so they're going to take $1,000 off the price. So if you have a $2,000 vehicle, you're going to pay $50 sales tax on $1,000.
So this is on Car from Japan, and I don't see Saipan in the drop down.
It might be under a different place. I'm not exactly familiar,
so-
but they'll get it there. You can let them know.
Oh, there it is, Saipan on its own. I just went right past it. Done. All right, so if I want to get this Miata, it's a 2005, but it's got to be 25 years, right?
Correct.
So that includes the price for the car and the shipping gets here for less than $4,000. The only thing is that you got to pay for the tax that comes in. It's personal use, so that first $1,000 is wiped out. So you got to pay, 5% tax on $2,000 or $3,000?
Yeah, that's it. So $50 on the $1,000. And then you're going to pay for unloading it. And so roughly around $300 port costs plus your tax.
And I'm telling you, folks, based on the amount of money you save for gas, this is why people are buying these things and driving these things now.
So I have a question. What's your yearly insurance?
Like $300.
Yeah, same. Like
mine is
$275 for a year.
And it's $300, and I've got everything I can for it, like the highest levels of everything, and Typhoon, right? Actually, that might be for my wife, so I don't know if I was able to take it on this one. But like $300 for the whole year.
Yeah.
And you own it. That's the other thing, right? It's not like it's a finance thing or something.
I had such a hard time, respectfully, I don't mean disrespect to the auto dealers or something, but when you spend $40,000, $50,000 on a vehicle and you just watch it deteriorate in our marine environment, it's really hard. So you're paying monthly on that, and it was difficult for me to do. So,
I mean, like, this is just such a win, and it's fun. So, like, no question, without any doubt at all, this is the kind of thing that my kids are going to get for their first vehicle. They're going to have to learn how to drive with left-hand drive on their own somewhere, because they're going to end up driving this stuff. And
after 1990, after 2000, you will have a driver's side airbag, and they did rebuild the Acti that I'm familiar with the crumple zone in front. So right now in my 95, I am the crumple zone.
Yeah, me too.
But a little bit later, they do have that buffer, and there are key sedans available too. I have one coming in it's called a Daihatsu Naked.
Nice.
And it's just a little car. I don't know. Just like you say, it's perfect for kids. The cost is down. It's good to learn. Maybe I got to check the oil. How am I going to inflate my tires? That type of stuff. I think it's a win-win for most people.
Well, and some of these are higher mileage that I'm looking at now. But like you said, it's all about them having great maintenance when they get older.
Correct.
Too.
And you just got to do your research. You got to look at the photos. And most of them that you click on, there'll be a rating, an auction rating, and they will give you an honest estimate. Hey, there's ripples here. This was rebuilt, so on and so forth. So there is some shamming. I'm not going to lie. Anything you could get taken on, but if you do your due diligence and your research, you can always come up on top too. My first vehicle, I was just excited and got it, but come to find out it was from a hydraulic shop. It smelled like cigarette smoke and hydraulic inside. But they did do good maintenance, and everything was done, and I've been daily driving it for 4 or 5 years. I've done the spark plugs and some regular maintenance, but no real issues. One brake caliper, but I was able to fix that myself.
And now you got this crippling smoking addiction. So, but other than that, everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
Yeah, I mean, actually, the first-hand smoke's not so bad.
No.
But, you mentioned one of the real advantages that I found. Like, I bought mine. I didn't buy mine online. I bought it here from somebody who did bring it in. But this is somebody who goes to Japan all the time, and he's checked this stuff out. I had the benefit of seeing it for myself, taking it for a test drive and everything, and that was easier. So I paid more, and not a whole lot, by the way, than what these prices are here. I got mine for $4,000.
That's excellent. That's a great price.
It was already here, and it was great. And on top of that, the guy I bought it from has been super supportive with everything. In the first month, helped me out with a bunch of different things, and I'm golden. He got me new tires, new wheels, spacers, changed out the battery, changed out the alternator, and then he just came back from Japan. He picked me up some fan belts.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yep. And it really does help to have somebody familiar with it. Like the batteries are not a common size. So going to Napa, you have to buy the lawn and then the posts are a little bit different. So it's not all just easy plug and play. But there are a lot of websites available too. On YouTube has a lot of videos. Rob's Acti page has a lot of part number crossovers. So, you can go to Napa or you can go to CarQuest and you can get a filter for your vehicle. It does transfer over to a lot of different other models. So once you do some research and find some sources, it's okay. I don't have many problems.
So I thought for sure I was going to get one of the Acti vans, just because I like Hondas, and I'm happy with their maintenance record and everything. But I ended up, the one I got is this Daihatsu, and it's a Tri Classic. It's not even like the regular Tri or the High Jet or any of these things. It's the Classic, so it's got this real funky look to it with this funky grill and everything. And there's two other ones that are the same way. Like there's 3 of these things in Saipan right now. Like, how did they get like the same color of the same thing? They got 3 of them in there.
You can find those online where they've done modifications to make them look like the classic VW vans. And so the grill kit and all that type of stuff just looks like a mini VW surfer van.
Well, that is what I plan on doing for the paint scheme, where I'm going to do the white top with the color on the side. And I was thinking I was going to do like a nice light blue color, but now I've seen this green color. This is the one right here. I saw this, and here, I'll switch this one over. This is a sandbar. This is not the kind of van I have, but it's like Subaru's version of what I got, where it had that big classic looking grill. Only my grill's even bigger than that, and it's not the size that matters. But just looking at that color scheme, I'm like, see where it's got the white on top?
Yep.
And I'm like, I think that's it. Only I was thinking about bringing the white all the way down the little cross arms here and everything. But anyway, so that's it. So now I'm thinking I might do that color instead of the blue. But that's it. Like, I like that style.
And you find what you get excited about. I had a friend who brought in a late 90s Jimny, and it's been jacked up. It's got big tires on it. They put wood paneling inside of it. They went through the whole motor. It's got the classic 2 gear shift transfer case, and it's really nice. He paid a little bit more for it, but jimnyland.jp, I don't know if it's harder to find, but they charge a little bit more, but they tear it down to ground zero and they redo it, and then they sell it at a premium, and they have some pretty amazing vehicles in there.
Oh yeah, I could definitely see what they're modeling right away. Here, this is Jimnyland. They probably also have cars on here.
That first link on the bottom left, But
is there an English button?
I had to translate within the browser.
Okay.
But they've done great, like the classic Bronco colors, like you were talking about, the white and red. They've painted some of their Jimnys those classic colors, and so you go through and you just like they have that model up there. You pick and choose what you want.
They have a Facebook page too.
Yeah, so they I don't know.
Oh, speaking of Broncos, look at that one right there. This red one that's coming across the screen on the bottom.
They haven't been super easy to work with, but they are available. There's other companies that do this with the Jimnys. Jimny's a Suzuki product. It's a key vehicle, but four-wheel drive enthusiast and known throughout the world. There's a lot of those on that B Forward site.
This is the site that we were talking about earlier, the Mitsui. This is where you got yours, right?
I am. And so what they do is they actually own the vehicles, they undercoat them, and then they sell them. If I was going to go back, I didn't have a negative experience with them, but there are some negative reviews online because they're a used car dealership where B Forward represents other dealerships all across Japan. So just buy with caution, just like anything else. If you have questions, Mitsu's really good about answering your questions, and their videos are really comprehensive. They drive the vehicle in those clips. They go all the way around it. They do their best to represent what they're selling.
I love, by the way, from looking at these, and I found them first on Facebook, right? Because they just popped up in the feed, and I'm like, all right, I'll look. But then you hear the sound of the engine. They drive right over the camera. They do all that stuff. It's pretty in depth. Like their stuff that they got.
There was a clip that I found on YouTube where a kid put, I don't know, at least a 6-foot long exhaust, just straight exhaust out the back of his Acti, and he's driving up a mountain road, and it brings chills to me. It's just so goofy, so much fun.
Well, but I also love, now I've been learning the names of what Japan calls the vehicles in Japan. And I'm like, how do they pick these names? Like, hold on, let me find the Saipan, because I want to get the shipping when I put this one on here real quick. But like, where do they get the names? Like, they've got these Italian names, or they've got these Spanish names.
Or
like,
the Daihatsu Naked. They're more liberal with their society on stuff. If you go back and watch the commercials that these vehicles originally came out with in the late 90s and the early 2000s, they're just wild. They're off the wall, where uptighty-whitey America doesn't go quite as far out.
Yeah. I mean, like, so here's, like, you click on this, and it takes you to their YouTube where you actually see the vehicle going through, right? So that's it driving by, and now they've got it in a service bay, and then they take you underneath the vehicle.
So that's
also
a Honda Vamos. That's like the upgrade from the Honda Acti. The Acti is utilitarian for what you would use for construction, or that's actually a little bit of a cruiser. So the Acti does not have rear seat belts. The Vamos is really more comfortable. It's got better interior, better suspension, and the back seat does have seat belts. So Vamos has come out in 99, 2000. That was really, it's something I would really like to. You can find four-wheel drive. A lot of them are automatics. You can still find manual, like whatever you really want. It just takes time to figure out. All key engines are 660 or 650 cc, so they're not powerhouses. You might have to engage the turbo by turning off the AC when you're going up a hill, but on Saipan, realistically, you're not supposed to go over 45 miles an hour.
Yeah, I definitely have gone over 45 to make sure I can get it up as Turlai without having to take it out of fifth gear.
Yep.
But just to give me a head start, because it bleeds speed right away.
It does.
Right? It's not. I'm not winning any races, and I'm not entering them either.
No. But like, there's a Suzuki wagon that's available. It has a turbo on it, where I've seen kids or some people enthusiastic, and so granted, it's still just a 650cc engine, but they made it fun. And there was a YouTube video recently where a guy said, I bought a Miata and I spent $1,000 to, mod it out or trick it out, and I didn't get half as much as I did when I spent $1,000 on a Suzuki wagon. I got wheels, tires, I got an air filter, I got an intake, I got a turbo manifold, all that type of stuff. So if you find the sources in Japan to get this stuff, it's excellent for our maybe lower income tier community, for people to have access to have fun, maybe bring back a key car club or just some support, some enthusiasm.
See, I think the car club idea for this is awesome, because I was thinking, thank you for liking and subscribing. But I love it because I could totally see this being like part of the parade, for the Liberation Parade and everything, like a whole bunch of these car enthusiasts. I'd want to get mine painted before I do it. It's not like I got a bad deal, but a little bit on top, looking a little rusty. But it's so much fun, and that's the other thing. So these things are well maintained. You could possibly not get the best deal ever, right?
Absolutely.
But they're, for the most part, they're maintained pretty well, and you could do a lot with them. Now I'm thinking about getting mine painted. I went to one spot and they gave me a quote, but you got yours painted. You paid a lot, but you got a really good job.
I did. I was happy with it. If I was going to do it again, I don't know. It depends. Like changing color totally is difficult, because I wanted the interior painted and everything, so it does take a pretty penny. Is it worth it in the end? I don't know. It's a 25-year-old vehicle. It depends on if you're going to show it or if you're going to use it. If you're going to use it, I would just take care, like you said, the rust spots, get that taken care of, so it's going to last you a few more years. But there are several entities. Probably you're looking at $3,000 to $4,000 to get the whole thing painted. So it's more than the whole. I don't know what your quote was, but something around there. It's as much as you pay for the vehicle, but it depends on what you're going to do with it.
Well, the guys who I talked to said $2,400.
That's a good deal.
I thought it was. Also, I'm like, do I need to spend $2,400 on the paint as opposed to anything else I might actually put into the vehicle, right? But it would look great for show, but I'm not out there showing it off. But it's so funny. I get so many people, and like a lot of tourists too.
Absolutely.
take pictures of my van.
Mm-hmm. Same thing, just parked along Beach Road. I went for a walk and I came back and there was a group around taking photos of it. So I don't know if they're making fun of us for buying their leftover vehicles or...
Well, I think they're Koreans.
Yeah, I agree.
Just maybe because it's a different vehicle or something, but so cute. Like all that.
For me, my best bang for the dollar, if you're going to mod it, is if you go to eBay, there are Japanese sellers that sell wheels and tires from Japan at good prices.
Yeah.
So they sell, primo 12-inch rims and good tires. If you want mud or cruising or whatever, you can get a set of 4 tires and 4 rims here for $1,000.
Oh yeah, so check this out. So I got mine from Hiroshi, and he had already wheels, like nice rims, and brand new tires and Bridgestone.
Yep.
And so it was already one piece, right? And so he's got all 4 of them. I got them for $450.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah.
And then when I got them put on at the building just down next door, they put them on for me, and they're like, "Oh, you want fancier?" They had to put on spacers, right? Because it wasn't quite right. So, and when they spaced them out, it gave it even a better ride.
Yep,
too,
better
right?
stance. Yep.
And then they're like, "Oh, do you want like fancy lug nuts?" I'm like, "Oh, what do you mean? Like, I don't want any to be crazy here." "Oh no, you pick a color." I'm like, "Let's just take black. It's fine, so it won't rust, and I don't have to worry about it matching anything." Right. So, but there's and I'm just at the very start of doing stuff with these things.
Yep.
The one thing I got a horn for it. I got to go get that thing put on, a different type of horn.
Find a train horn and put a small compressor on it and hide it underneath.
That's
one thing that I did really good was the suspension. The suspension is light, and I'm a bigger dude, and so I found just American springs that were the right size, and I ordered those. I think I got those here for $150, and I installed them myself.
Wow!
So that made going over speed bumps, because Saipan is speed bump happy. That made those a lot more comfortable.
Huh. Well, I have taken mine all the way down the Lao. I'm sure you have now too, right? But I've taken it everywhere, and it is a little rough on the bumps. It doesn't hurt or anything, but like it's definitely not the same as my 2017 four-wheel off-road Tacoma.
Correct.
Right? So
absolutely.
That was a little bit of getting used to, but now I'm totally
that's some of the
used to it.
magic of driving a vehicle like that. I mean, if you only paid $3,000 for it, maybe you're not quite as concerned. Not that you want to be rough with it, but
right.
But I do know all-time four-wheel drive in my Acti, I can climb like a billy goat too. Not that I'm trying to challenge anybody, but it does get around good.
He's not bragging, babe, so don't put him down. But he's got the fastest climb in Acti in town. All right, someone pulls up to him, you don't even try. All right, I got all the words. It's the Beach Boys, right? I'm looking at this thing here just for kicks. Now it's like it's Christmas time, but this is when I should be looking at shopping for someone else.
No,
but like 2000 Toyota Celica SS to $3,200.
We're of an age where we recognize that car. Like there's a couple cool kids in high school, or right at our first job that had that Celica, or a teacher did, or we recognize some of those vehicles. There's that $70,000 Supra that has the manual transmission and the turbo, total need for speed on B forward. So
I mean, like I know this is not the top layer of vehicle, but this 2016 Lexus GS 350 for a 12.8, all leathered out and everything with the F Sports package.
Put that 25-year filter in there, or else you'll lose your dreams. You can't.
Well, no, I mean, say it's your farm car. That's it. I use it to transport water for my cows.
There you go. If it's Saipan. If you know the right people, you could make it fly.
Yeah. All I would say, I would just point to those trucks. But again, there are other ones out here. But
like a Mazda Titan is a flat-faced, industrial truck. But if you wanted to put some 33 mutters on there, and some of them are four-wheel drive with the manual transmission, that would be a lot of fun. It depends on what you like.
Let me look it up. Mazda Titan. I don't even know what that. Oh my God, that is like a real work truck, and it looks pretty serious. Oh my God, and they're not expensive.
No, and there are some that are 4 cabs.
Look at this one. Are you kidding me? Hold on, we're gonna look at this. We can't get it because it's a 2007. $1,600. Probably has a ton of miles, right? Well, it does, but it's got back seats,
air conditioned. Like if you got that in a 5-speed and you put some 33s on it, that'd be a lot of fun.
Oh, and it's a dually.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
I'm glad that you share the enthusiasm. It's not just me being a weirdo.
No, my kids would think I'm a weirdo though.
And the wife might not be as impressed to hop in that to go downtown.
Yeah, she's definitely not hanging her arm out the window looking at people going, yeah, no. That's me with this guy.
Right, that's the same thing.
Check this out. But They're used to it now, the FAMAs. But these things are pretty cool. Oh, you were saying another one, not just the Nissan Titan. What's another one?
Nissan Cantor.
Nissan Cantor,
And then,
like Cantor?
Yeah.
Let's see, we could be showing support for our...
Oh, maybe not. Sorry. You just got to go through and find like they've redone a couple of Toyota. I'm sorry, I can't remember the names, but it almost looks like a Unimog. So it's just like you said, just a Christmas catalog, and go through all those vehicles and imagine what you could do.
Well, like the names are, but that one is a Nissan, like the truck you're talking about.
Yeah, Nissan Cantor. Yep, it's the same thing as that Titan, kind of an industrial truck.
Okay.
If you're at B4, just type in fire truck at the top.
All right, there we go. Let's try. One word?
Yep, no, 2 words.
Fire truck. No way. All right, so I just love this is like a big. Oh my God! All right, so there's no fire trucks. Oh, here we go.
Yep.
Oh, here's a Mercedes, a 1988 Mercedes Benz. This is not the $10,000 deal you were talking about. So let's do this. I'm going to sort. Right, there's a sorting thing on here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or I can sort by price. Here we go. Sort by low to high. There we go. Let's see. $3,700. 2002 Suzuki Carry.
Now that's a key truck, but look the mileage or the kilometers on it because it's just a civil vehicle.
947. Holy crap. Look at this. A 94 Toyota Dyna. Okay, so now here's a funny story. These are awesome, and now I want one. But is the gas mileage? No, this one's like a...
Some of them have
key truck
1,200
is good.
cc. So I mean,
this one's got 2,000 cc's.
Yeah. So it's a bigger motor. The mileage is not going to be the same as a key truck, but at that price, you're not driving that all the time unless there's news stories all over the island.
Mitsubishi's Cantor.
Okay,
and it's a Canter. But so for $5,500, we're going to take a look at this 1994 Toyota Dyna fire truck.
Isn't that sweet? Imagine what you do with that with some big blocky 33s.
Dude, Robert Mujica and Ed De La Cruz are going to want to hang out with me. We're going to go out to the clubs with this truck right here, and we're going to tell our significant others, don't worry, we're going to be we're going to be safe. We're not going to do anything crazy. It looks like this one's even wrapped in plastic. All right, so let's. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. $5,500, right? And it's only got 12,900 kilometers.
Kilometers. So that's 8,000 miles, maybe.
Man. And you're going to get it for $5,500.
And it's a civil vehicle, so you imagine the maintenance was pretty good.
Oh, and it's cherry looking, plenty of room. I got my own little siren lights, like in case I need to get to a news story. Like there you go.
Some of them come with the tank or the pump, just like auction like. In Japan, that's not an attractive vehicle because it's old. It's just not desirable, where you and I are the weirdos and would love driving that around.
We're also old and undesirable,
correct,
apparently.
Yep.
So we might as well get the vehicle that matches.
But we're not compensating for anything.
No. Size does not matter. So this one, you could see where they kept, like, this would have been like the
tank, yep.
Or the tank might have been back here, but like this might be where the hoses were or something, or the tools, because this might just be where, see, there's benches and stuff.
Yep.
So maybe this was just like the people mover.
Could be. There's some of the other ones.
Maybe that was a ladder.
The key vehicles have an extra seat, just all kinds of configurations. Now, not to make it even more crazy, but you can find emergency vehicle Land Cruisers too, the modified Toyotas that were emergency vehicles.
I wonder.
Some of them are really oddball and have a bed.
I put in their ambulance. Oh, they have them. Come on. All right, we're gonna go low to high also for the price.
You're gonna do Cannonball Run?
That would be great. Oh my God! Look at this. 96 Toyota Hiace. Now this one has miles, but not that much, 52K, right? So what is that? We're about 30,000 miles.
Yep.
And for $1,110 from Yokohama. Then here's a Hiace. Now these are ambulances, and they look awesome, but they have real CCs. This one's got almost 3,000. This one's got 2,400. But just the idea of having this it's so cool. This one's got a video, and it's got 2,300 cc's. Open that up in a new tab. Let's take a look at it. I'm totally nerding out on this stuff right now. I didn't even consider fire trucks or ambulances. Let's see what this video looks like. All right, so we'll max this up so everyone can see this. Thanks for tuning in to our little fun fact. Look, okay, so now there's no door on that side. right? And it might only be a massive door on the back. Let's see if there's one on the other side. See, you got a step and everything too. Yeah, at least there's a door on that side. And it's got the elevated roof on it too, so you got even more room. And it looks like an air conditioner vent on top. So we're going to find out what else it's got. Open up that door. We want to see it. All right, there we go. Ooh, looks like nice seats too.
Oh,
look at all that space.
Space for
Oh,
activities.
it even comes with the gurney. No way. You got a stretcher. And it comes with it. All right, so then, and it came with the radio. The radio's still up there. No, this is awesome. It still comes with the emergency Japanese radio. It's an automatic, but that's okay. The engine's pretty big. Probably nylon or like vinyl seats, not leather. I won't hold it
pretty
against
clean
them.
for 25. I don't know how old that one is, but
It's a 94.
look how clean. That's
And it's got 30,000 miles.
30 years old. Pretty clean.
Oh my God. There's so much to do with this. What do you do with all this information? I mean, look at it. Plus, it just looks neat, right?
Yep.
I wish they had an option to make these full screen, but they do at least make them bigger. The red is a little pronounced, but
it's an emergency vehicle.
yeah, I know. Let's take a look at these photos for the space that you get inside. That's not the one here. This one right here. Look at you got the gurney. Oh, and it's got the inspection lights too. Hey, you want to play a doctor? Okay, so we're gonna have to spend some money to get that reupholstered. The gurney.
The gurney.
Yeah, because the gurney, where would you go without that?
There's a lot of places here that do, upholstery. I got Louis Vuitton seat covers in my Acti. So
that is awesome.
Saipan has a plethora of that. That's a strength.
All right, so hold on. Let's see what else. Let's take a bigger look around in this thing. I want to see what else. I mean, the amount of space in there is kind of ridiculous. And that's just a passenger seat. There's a bench. You could gut all this, by the way.
You could do whatever you wanted.
And a hyper inverter. That comes with it. That's part of the joy of this.
So there's a button there that says buy now. You create a profile. You'll say buy now. You'll start getting way too many emails from Be Forward, but they'll offer you a price, and then if you like that, then you simply say buy now. And then you go and you can either do PayPal or you can do your credit card or you can do a bank transfer, and then somebody will be in contact with you. And they with me they were really good. They got the vehicle to the port. They sent me a bunch of pictures like this is what it looks like at the port before we sent it. So this is what you can expect. And then they gave me an idea of what boat it's going to be on, when it's going to arrive. And everything's been legit. They'll send you paperwork via DHL before it gets here. So you have your certificate of ownership and the official paperwork. So
look at this. This is the radio and it's got the horn with the siren. Oh, dang it. This is great. I could be driving this right now. Instead of, this could be the news van of justice. It would be amazing. It's an automatic. This thing is so cool. I can't believe it. I never, ever would have thought about any of these things. Oh, no way. It's got a pretty cool little display over here, too. Yep.
And getting parts like Bluetooth radio, all that type of stuff is easy. It's not difficult. It just takes knowledge. And there's so many sources out there because there is communities behind this, that you can get. There's aftermarket lift kits you can buy from North America for the key trucks. I've never been a real big fan of that. I think that it throws too many things off and you lose a little bit with it, but that's up to you, whatever works for you.
This inverter is crazy. That's just part of it. That is just awesome. All right, well, I'm going nuts on this thing. And you probably have places to go and things to do and people to see. But, man, I could nerd out about this. All right.
It's just like a Christmas catalog, I promise you.
It is. I'm totally loving all this stuff. It's just crazy. This is just really great. Well, so it's. I'm looking at. I was looking up all like the old news stuff with this and like where you were going with it and everything and how to get it done. But the reason why we're able to do this, you didn't just stop with your petition. You didn't just stop with that. You went all the way. You contacted insurance companies. You contacted the
Highway
legislature.
Association.
Yeah, you contacted everybody. You did all the background, and you get it done. So it was more about making a real change in the community, not just with your words, but through your actions. And because of that, that's why some people can have some really affordable vehicles with some really great gas mileage here.
I think it was a good positive thing for everybody. There was, the controversy that was brought up was, what are we going to do with these older vehicles, or Are they safe? And of course, there's safety issues, but there's some clapped out Honda or Toyota Echoes on this island too that probably wouldn't sustain a crash very well. And what difference is it than a motorcycle? So I don't know.
You know, it's funny. That was the first thing some of the guys were saying to me. Dude, you need to get something bigger. I'm like, no. He's like, you get in an accident, you're going to be in a hard time. I'm like, that vehicle was fine when it came out. You know, things just got better now, right?
Right.
The goal is to not get in an accident.
And I would counterbalance. There's a lot more steel in those vehicles than there are in some brand new vehicles. So I'm not saying that I'm going to be safe in a head-on, but it is constructed well, and it is steel. It's not plastic or carbon or anything like that. So I don't know. Drive safe. Always be aware. Defensive driver.
Yeah, and I just use bubble wrap. Just put that around there. I'll be fine. I'm not worried about that part of it. I am enjoying spending $30 for a fill-up or less. $30 or less. I use my Pacific Points. I'm a Shell guy. I know Mobile, they have the Smiles. They do something like that too, right? But my discount plan gets me like 6% off, and it's pretty awesome. So I'm spending when they go in, they're like, and they fill it up, and it's like $25. It's like all of a sudden it's like, oh man, you're cool. You're way cooler.
And everybody likes to look at them just because they're so different. Lots of questions. Always enthusiastic.
Well, and there's so many to choose from. You don't have to see the ones that are out there now and say that one's mine. Go check them out for yourself and really think about it. It's so funny because, I think they're awesome. But there's people who are out here who their business is to sell these things. They bring them in and they're like, all right, I think this is going to be a good one. And they bring it in and you can get it. And you probably pay a little bit more than what you're going to buy them for on any of these websites. But these folks are doing all that. They're checking them out first.
And they're paying the port fees and everything else on top of that. So it's understandable. And they want to turn a profit. They're a business. So it is understandable. But you have somebody to go to talk to. Like in your case where you needed some maintenance or you had some questions, you have that rather than just raw dogging it.
Yep. All right. Hey, anything else? Anything you want to talk about?
No,
you gave us a lot of resources already.
Glad to see the community grow. If there is more interest, I'll be happy to come back and talk about it. And if you have questions, just want to see it grow. Want to see the community grow.
And maybe put together a little car club just for these little
car club.
A little car club. We'll be here all week, folks. You're too late. We just had the comedy special over there. All right, folks. Hey, we're going to wrap it up here with Russ, and I want to say thanks so much for getting this going. And if it wasn't for your work that you did a couple years ago, I never would have had the news van of justice. Pretty cool.
Credit to the legislature who helped get us that through. I don't want to take all the credit. They're the ones that did the heavy lifting and got the bill written and moved it.
Well, there we go. All right, folks, we did this for quite a long time. I got too excited about it. We're going to take a couple of commercials and get you guys the latest from the Associated Press. In fact, should I just do the AP now? Let's do that. We're going to do the Associated Press now. I'll get you the latest because let me just refresh. It should have come in, and there it is. So I'm going to do that. That'll give us a little time to wrap things up on our end over here, and then we'll see you guys in just a couple. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. A breakthrough in the hunt for the killer of United Healthcare CEO, New York's Chief of Detectives, Joseph Kenney.
A male was taken into custody today in Altoona, Pennsylvania this morning. He has been identified as Luigi Nicholas Mangione.
He was found with a weapon, mask, and writings linking him to the ambush. A Marine vet who put an agitated rider in a chokehold on the New York subway, acquitted in the man's death. And after the fall of Bashar Assad, Sagar Meghani reports on what's next in Syria.
So far, the group led by a former top al-Qaeda militant has said it wants representative government with power sharing and religious tolerance. Mideast expert Hayed Hayed at London's Chatham House says the international community must move fast.
That sort of positive atmosphere is crucial, but might not last long.
Here in Washington, they're welcome statements, but
the real measure of their commitment is not just what they say, but what they do.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken.
History shows how quickly moments of promise can descend into conflict and violence.
Blinken says the U.S. has clear interests in Syria, and top officials are fanning out across the Mideast to talk about how America can back the Syrian people, while the military has moved to ensure ISIS cannot take advantage. Sagar Meghani, Washington.
In a sexual assault accusation against rapper-producer Jay-Z, Margie Zaraletta has the latest.
Attorney Alex Spiro says in a filing in Manhattan federal court, a woman who says Jay-Z raped her as a 13-year-old has not provided evidence to justify staying anonymous. He's arguing her lawsuit should be dismissed. The woman had sued musician Sean Diddy Combs, accusing him of rape at a party following the 2000 MTV Video Music Awards. She amended the lawsuit to accuse Jay-Z of rape as well. Jay-Z says in a statement the allegation is heinous and part of an extortion attempt. I'm Margie Zaraletta.
This is AP News. In Missouri, business groups have filed a lawsuit to stop a voter-approved law that will raise the state's minimum wage and require paid sick leave. Seth Suttel has the AP Markets report.
A slide for market superstar NVIDIA helped pull stocks down from their records on Wall Street. The S&P 500 fell 0.6% Monday. The index is coming off its 57th all-time high so far this year. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 240 points. It's about 0.5%. The Nasdaq Composite dropped 0.6%. NVIDIA was the heaviest weight on the market after China said it's probing the chip giant for potential antitrust violations. NVIDIA fell 2.5%. Prices for oil and gold rose following the ouster of Syrian leader Bashar Assad. Seth Suttel, New York.
And Taylor Swift's Eras Tour brought in approximately $2.2 billion in its nearly 2-year run, making it the highest-grossing tour of all time for a second year in a row. I'm Ben Thomas, AP News. Thanks for listening.
Such a bright day, yeah. All right.
Persistence of build, be the inspiration, they witness approve. We do what we do by the rules in the book. We be a lottie where discipline and vision is built. We lead by example, persistence of build, be the inspiration, they witness approve. We do what we do by the rules in the book.
You owned your car for 4 years. You named it Brad. You loved Brad. And then you totaled him. You two had been through everything together. 2 boyfriends, 3 jobs. You're like, nothing can replace Brad. Then Liberty Mutual calls. And you break into your happy dance.
If you sign up for Better Car Replacement, we'll pay for a car that's a model year newer with 15,000 fewer miles than your old one. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
AP Sports, I'm Denny Kapp. The first ever 12-team college football playoff field is set, and one of the sports blue bloods will be watching from home. AP correspondent Dave Ferry has all the details.
Oregon, Georgia, Boise State, and Arizona State have received the first-round byes and will have an extra week to prepare for the quarterfinals. The top-seeded Ducks will open with the winner of Tennessee's game at Ohio State. Notre Dame and Indiana will square off in South Bend, with the winner facing the Bulldogs. The Broncos will take on either Penn State or SMU, which nosed out Alabama for a CFP slot. The Sun Devils await the winner of Clemson's game at Texas. The Big Ten landed 4 teams in the tournament, 1 more than the SEC and 2 better than the ACC.
Week 14 of the NFL featured a masterful performance from Vikings quarterback Sam Darnold, who threw for 347 yards and 5 touchdowns to lead Minnesota past Atlanta 42-21. The Vikings won their 6th straight to stay 1 back of the NFC North leading Lions at 11-2. Atlanta dropped its 4th in a row. Kirk Cousins threw 2 picks against his former team. The Eagles also improved to 11-2, squeaking past the Panthers 22-16. Saquon Barkley set the Eagles' single-season rushing record, passing LaShawn McCoy's mark in 2013.
Being a fan of Shady's growing up and seeing the spectacular things he was able to do with the ball in his hand, and to be able to have my name match with him, definitely means a lot.
He's now run for 1,623 yards with 4 games remaining. The Dolphins kept their playoff hopes alive with a 32-26 knockout of the Jets in overtime. Tight end Jonnu Smith caught the game winner in the extra session.
When my time comes, just got to be there to make the play when it counts. So extremely, man, I love this team, man. The resolve we got, no blink, no flinching. I'm just, beyond proud of this team, man, and for us getting that victory how we did today.
Miami won for the 4th time in its last 5 games, improving to 6-7. The Jets dropped their 4th straight, falling to 3-10. The Buccaneers take hold of first place in the NFC South, rocking the Raiders 28-13 behind 3 touchdown tosses from Baker Mayfield.
We'll take wins. I don't really care how it looks, but offensively, we'll have to be a lot more consistent for us to be able to make this push that we want to do, and we know that. So there's more games left. A lot of ball left.
Tampa Bay is now 7-6. Las Vegas quarterback Gaden O'Connell was carted off with a knee injury. NFC West, the Seahawks go into Week 15 in first place after beating the Cardinals 30-18. With Kenneth Walker's sideline, Zach Charbonnet ran for 134 yards and 2 scores.
The line, the receivers downfield blocking, tight ends went out there and balled out. They just made it easy for me. All I had to do was make a dude miss or 2 and just was able to just work like that.
Seattle won its 4th straight to improve to 8-5 and keep a 1-game cushion on the victorious Rams, who hung on to beat the Bills 44-42. Josh Allen threw 3 touchdowns and ran in 3 more in the loss as Buffalo dropped to 10-3. Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford was grateful to escape with the win.
I have a ton of respect and admiration for how he plays and knew it was going to be a tough task for our team, on the defensive side of the ball. So was happy that, on the offensive side we were doing our part to try and keep us close and keep us in it, and obviously getting the win was huge.
And the 49ers gashed the Bears 38-13. Brock Purdy completed 80% of his passes for 325 yards and 2 touchdowns. San Francisco stays 2 back of Seattle at 7-7. The Steelers joined the Bills at 10-3, but they did so with a win, smothering the Browns 27-14. The Steelers now hold a 2-game lead on the Ravens in the AFC North. The Chiefs stay in the AFC's catbird seat, improving to 12-1 as they win their 9th consecutive AFC West title with a 19-17 victory against the Chargers on Sunday Night Football. Chiefs kicker Matthew Wright booted 4 field goals, including the game winner he doinked in from 31 yards as time expired. The Saints stunned the Giants 14-11. New Orleans blocked a would-be game-tying 35-yard field goal at the end of the game to deal the Giants their 8th straight defeat, and Tank Bigsby scored the game's lone touchdown for Jacksonville, which snapped a 5-game skid as the Jaguars topped the Titans 10-6. Both teams are now 3-10. Still to come, baseball's biggest free agent ship has fallen, and we check in on hoops and hockey. Free agent outfielder Juan Soto and the New York Mets have come to terms on a 15-year, $765 million contract, according to an AP source. The deal is conditional on Soto passing a physical. The deal is the longest and largest in Major League Baseball history. On the hardwood, the Heat dealt the Cavs their 4th loss of the season while winning their 3rd in a row, topping Cleveland 122-113. Tyler Hero had 31 for Miami. The Sixers outlasted the Bulls 108-100 behind a triple-double from Tyrese Maxey and a game-high 31 from Joel Embiid, who returned from a 7-game absence. The Bucks got back in the win column, nipping the Nets 118-113. The Hornets snapped an 8-game skid, beating the Pacers 113-109. Nikola Jokic scored 48 points one night after posting 56 against the Wizards. He led the Nuggets past the Hawks 114-111. The Magic won their first of what will be many games without Franz Wagner, edging out the Suns 115-110. The surging Grizzlies blasted the Wizards 140-112. Victor Wembanyama tallied 25 points and 10 rebounds to push the Spurs past the short-handed Pelicans 121-116. Steph Curry drained a game-high 30 to lead the Warriors past the Timberwolves 114-106. The loss ended Minnesota's 4-game winning streak. James Harden was a late scratch for the Clippers, who fell to the Rockets 117-106. LeBron James sat out for the Lakers, who still had enough to beat the Trailblazers 107-98. And Utah no-showed against Sacramento, getting drilled by the Kings 141-97. College hoops, top-ranked Kansas suffered its 2nd loss of the week, falling to Memphis 76-67. Elsewhere in the top 25, 2nd-ranked Auburn clobbered Richmond 98-54. 6th-ranked Iowa State blasted Jackson State 100-58. Number 8 Purdue clipped Maryland 83-78. 9th-ranked Duke dumped Louisville 76-65. And 12th-ranked Oregon got upset, falling to UCLA 73-71. NHL, the Kraken trailed 3-1 before rallying to their 3rd multi-goal comeback win of the season, beating the Rangers 7-5. Oliver Bjorkstrom had 3 points, including the go-ahead goal. Braden Point scored his league-leading 10th power play goal to help helped the Lightning double up the Canucks 4-2. The Islanders swept the back-to-back, topping the Senators 4-2. Kent Johnson scored a pair of goals for Columbus just under 2.5 minutes apart as the Blue Jackets downed the Jets 4-1. The Avalanche blanked the Devils 4-0 as Colorado netminder Scott Wedgwood notched the shutout against his former team. Utah knocked off the Flyers 4-2, and Dallas extinguished the Flames 6-2. I'm Denny Kopp, AP Sports.
All right, CNMI, we are back, and you're looking down at a live look at Beach Road in Oleai here as we are in the Christmas season. It is December 10th. It is 9:16 in the morning, and it's a beautiful day here in Saipan. We are lucky. This is going to be a great weather week, and we've got some baseball tonight as well as the Saipan Baseball League Masters Edition continues at 6:30 with the Blue Jays and the Falcons. Looking forward to seeing how that wraps up. Last night there was some good action. Looked like between the Marlins and the Pirates, more good action. So we're going to check all that stuff out. Well, right now it's 84 degrees. The humidity is 67, and it is cool outside. I don't mean like, ooh, look how cool that is. I mean, like, it's a nice, cool breeze. Last night, it was a nice windows open night to sleep with. You don't need any aircon, especially if you can't pay for the aircon. You definitely could enjoy a nice, restful evening because it was just a beautiful night outside in Saipan. You guys might not get it as much when you live in the mainland because it's just so temperate. But man, here it was just wonderful. We're looking at some mostly sunny skies throughout the day today. High near 87, 84 right now. Nice light breeze, about 10 to 13 miles per hour out of the east. So it is just gorgeous. Tonight, isolated showers, partly cloudy skies with a low around 76. And should be a lot of fun. Anyway, I'm having a blast. Today was a lot of fun. I want to say thanks to all you guys for being in. Like I said, all this week, we're going to be starting a little bit later. I'm taking the kids to school as Kathy, she is in such a hurry to not be injured. I'm telling you, folks, she's going out there doing everything and really pushing herself to do everything too. Getting a little bumps, getting a little bruises, but she's like, I'm going to try some more stuff today. I'm like, okay. Let's do it. I don't expect she'll be on the bike anytime right away. But I did tell her, and maybe that's a good thing for me, because I'm going to end up go out riding with her too. And she'll probably be smoking me anyway. All right. So that's what we got for you today, folks. Again, we talked about some of the local stuff that we had going on. We hit the national stuff. And now it's about getting ready for the rest of the week. Some exciting stuff. Hold on real quick. Just want to see if there's anything else that popped up. Tomorrow. Ooh, is that tomorrow? Yes, we have MVA in the house tomorrow. Marianas Visitors Authority is going to be in studio with us tomorrow. We're going to find out everything that's happening from the good folks over at MVA and get you guys caught up in what's happening. You know, you're trying to figure out what's going on with our tourists, what's happening with our events, get the latest. We'll get on their calendar. We're going to get all this good stuff. I'm really excited about that. And what else do we have throughout the week? Real quick. VFW is going to be on Thursday. And on Friday, this Friday, the new lounge at Crown Plaza with all the historical and cultural items is going to open. Now, it's open already. You can go and check it out. But the big unveiling official is going to be this Friday. So we're looking forward to doing that. And that'll be at 4:30. It will be there, so you'll be able to check it out. All right, guys. I am going to go from undercover newsman to wearing contacts here in a little bit later. So you'll see me on the street looking normal-ish. Have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll see you guys. We come back tomorrow morning after 7. Again, I got to drop the kids off, so we'll see you later.
So many things we got to discuss. Happy day, Tirawamian greetings. To Rhoda, Guam, Saipan, and Tinian. For all your island news. From a beautiful place with Pacific views. It's always so much fun. Good morning, Marianas.